what if everything just goes bad? There is no way to be successful without making mistakes and failing. There's absolutely no way. So just get used to failing and then fail forward every time.
Welcome to the Creative Entrepreneurs Podcast, where it's all about turning your unique talents and perspectives into a viable business. And now, your host, Paris Hamilton.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 14 of the Creative Entrepreneurs Podcast. I'm your host, Paris Hamilton, and today I have a special guest with me, Rope Zeus. He's an actor, writer, comedian. He entertains tens of thousands of fans every week with his YouTube web series, Hump Day Romance. He definitely fits the description of a creative entrepreneur, so I am pleased to have him here with us today and that he could take time out of his busy schedule to speak with us. So I'll go ahead and let Zeus tell you a little bit more about himself, what he does, what his web series is about, and even how all of you can find him online and on social media. So go ahead, Zeus.
Oh, that's a lot. First off, thank you for having me, Mr. Hamilton. Very much appreciative of that. My name is Rope Zeus. I am an actor. I'm from Norfolk, Virginia. I'm 28 years old. 4 years ago, I started a web series, a relationship web series, actually, where I gave my, I talked about my dating experience, my perspectives, the lessons that I've learned in my own personal dating life, and just what I observed in the world. And from that, it turned into me kind of, the show kind of evolved over the past 2-3 years, from me just sitting in front of the camera to me sitting in front of the camera and it floating off into a sketch. To explain my point. So I guess the best way I can explain it is like the relationship version of like the Dave Chappelle show or like in Living Color, where it's not really about the funny, it's more so about the lesson. So for example, I did one about called Stay in Your Lane. That was my first episode to go viral. And basically I played a relationship insurance sales spokesperson, which was kind of like a spoof off of State Farm. And anyway, so the analogy was, when you're dating multiple people, dating, not necessarily sleeping with them, but dating multiple people to figure out, who you want to be with. Usually these multiple people don't have the same privileges. It's kind of like the packages of your car. Some people have car insurance that covers them for theft. Some people have car insurance that covers them for water damage. Some people just have basic packages where you get no perks or anything like that. So I feel like it's kind of the same way it is when you're dating people. Some people you're allowed to come over to your house, maybe even spend the night. Other people you say, oh, I don't really want you to know where I live. I just don't know you like that. So let's just meet at the Buffalo Wild Wings. And they don't have those privileges. So anyway, that was the first one to go viral. And from there, the show just evolved. I just released season 2 of Hump Day Romance, which I think is 10 times better than the first. And I've been getting a lot of good feedback from it, man. I think what people love about the show is that it's very relatable. And even though it's funny, it always makes you think, wow, like that is kind of true though. And it always, for the most part, makes you take a look at your own personal relationship beliefs, your own relationship, or just how you conduct yourself in your relationship. Because sometimes we just do a lot of funny things. It's just not funny at the time. And you just need a different perspective to show you that. So I've been doing that because of the show. I became a partner with YouTube. I've been a content provider for Marlon Wayans. I have been to LA 3-4 times. Actually, I just got signed in December of 2015. I just got signed with one of the biggest management companies in television and movies out in LA, which is the reason why I'm moving, because it's time to go.
Congratulations.
Time to evolve and go. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. I'm scared, but it's very dope. I'm very excited. And what happened was, it's a lot of actors. I have a lot of actor friends that are out in LA that don't have representation, don't have agencies, because it's very difficult, to say, hey, I'm an actor. Can your company represent me? I can book work. It's very difficult to do that. So what happened was I got an email last December from a manager. I thought it was spam, to really be honest. I get so many emails about YouTube companies that want me to kind of sign with them, and you never know what's what. So anyway,
right.
she said, hey, one of my clients shared one of your videos on Facebook, And I went and looked at all the rest of your stuff. She said, I think you're funny. I like the show. She said, but can you really act? I said, is water still wet? So I sent her some of my short films, and she liked them. So I did 4 short films in 2015, and she liked them. And then she said, well, hey, listen, if I send you an audition, can you videotape yourself and send it back to me so I can send it in for a client? I would like to submit you for it. And I said, okay, well, what's the audition for? And she said, Oprah's network. Oprah has a new network, a show coming out called Queen Sugar. And I sent her the role. I sent her the audition, and she sent it back. Oh, my God, I loved it. I loved it. So that turned into, hey, let's have a conversation about my company representing you. And Luba Rockland Entertainment is the name of the company, and they represented Paul Walker in all the Fast and Furiouses. They helped produce. They're producers on that. And some other cats that are in the movie Straight Outta Compton. I looked up the whole company, man. They're one of the bigger ones out there, and I was just blessed because here's the thing. I'm all the way 3,000 miles away in Virginia, and a company, a very reputable management company, reached out to me and asked could they, sign and represent me. And if you want to be in a movie like, Marvel or Straight Outta Compton, whatever the case may be, you have to have representation. Now, I have friends that are right there in LA that can't get there.
Right.
You can't tell me that's not a sign, a door opening up to God, or, the law of attraction, all working together saying, hey, you know what? We're going to open this door for you. Here you go. This is all you need.
Like, and you're really,
all you need to do is that.
You're really, I was about to say, you're really lucky to have those opportunities because I know how hard it is because my line brother or my fraternity brother is also acting. He's up there in New York doing short films right now, and he went to school out in like England for like 2 years in an acting school, and he's still doing short films. And I know he has representation, but he's not on the level where you're at right now.
Well, I think everybody's on the same level as a creator. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Me, I'm a creator, and I think when you go into being an actor or an entrepreneur, you have to ask yourself, what is your why? Why are you doing this? I don't want to be a celebrity. I could care less about that. That's not what I want to be. I want to be a working actor. It's plenty of working actors that you do not know their names at all, but you know their face because you have seen them acting for decades in television and movies. That's okay with me. I'm like a regular guy. I'm from Virginia, so I think if you want to be a celebrity, I don't know what to tell you about that. But if you want to be a working actor, all I can tell you is what I've learned thus far. And, like your line brother that's in New York, short films is amazing. The good thing about entrepreneurship is everybody's GPS is going to take them a different place.
Right.
Same destination, but your GPS might take you a different way than what I'm going. Because we have different skill sets. And me, I'm not formally trained. I am not formally trained. I have never been in an acting school, class, program at all. I've done a couple, like, one-on-one acting coaches, acting sessions with maybe like 3 or 4 last year. But it's all instinct with me. And just, so that's another reason why I'm just like, wow, I'm so blessed to be with representation. And I'm in these audition rooms now. I ain't booked none yet, but
right.
I'm in the booker. I'm in the room with, the actors that are next up. So I said, listen, man, there's nothing holding me in Virginia. I don't have any children. I'm not married. This is definitely my time because a dream can be deferred.
Right.
It could definitely be deferred.
So let's go ahead and let's take a step back just for a moment. Can you actually tell us how you got started? Because, the audience doesn't know that me and you, we actually went to middle school together. We went to different high schools.
That's right.
You were in the band back in high school, right?
Yes.
And
yes. I was in the band.
You ended up going to Norfolk State. You were running a show on the radio station. So how did you go from, like, where you were with doing radio to actually launching a web series? Like, how did that even come up?
Man, it's one of those things where if you're paying attention, you just kind of float to different things. Sometimes we wonder why certain things end, and sometimes certain things end so you can get ready for the next thing. But anyway, middle school, you went to middle school with me. I don't know if I was the class clown.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that. Maybe. I don't know, because the perception of myself and what others perceive me could be different. But I I know I definitely like to joke and have fun. You know, I was always that kind of person. Went to high school and I was in the band. I got in the band because, you know, Norview, the area that we grew up in was very rough. And you had to have something that you were into. Like if you wasn't into like a sport or a band or something, you know, you were going to be like, you know, kind of gang banging or whatever, because everybody, you know, had their own little cliques. And gangs were starting to get real popular in 2001 when I went to high school. Like every neighborhood had its own gang. Right. And, you know, and so I was just like, look, man, I ain't really trying to, you know, I'm trying to keep myself smart, keep myself clean. So anyway, I joined band, I joined the drum line, and that saved me for the next 4 years because I got a scholarship to go to Norfolk State for percussion. So once that happened, I went to Norfolk State and I joined a fraternity, Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. The reason I joined my fraternity, I didn't even know anything about Alpha until I went on Facebook. This was like 2005 when Facebook just started, and I saw a friend that just crossed Alpha. I didn't know what Alpha was. I didn't know anything, but he was my friend on Facebook, and I went to middle school with him, and he had just crossed Alpha, and I was like, man, what is this? And I started researching it. But my friend's name was Paris Hamilton. I saw him pro bass with his Line Brothers, and I didn't know what it was, and I was like, oh, and I started researching it, and then I fell in love with learning about Alpha. So, you know, it was definitely a start. After that, I started asking the guys on my yard about Alpha, and then that was the whole process. And then, but before Alpha, I was in mass comm major. That's what I wanted to do. I mean, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew mass comm communications. It just seemed interesting to me. So I interned at the radio station at Hot 91, and then they said, okay, we have a spot on air. Do you want to do it? I said, sure, okay. So that's how I did the Hot 91 thing. I did that for a little while, and then I crossed Alpha, and I ain't do it no more. So I just want to hang out with my Line Brothers. So after I did that, I graduated, and I was in counseling. You know, I really didn't take mass comm as seriously as I guess I took now. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and at Norfolk State, we didn't have a lot of updated equipment for editing and video cameras and stuff, but I did do my internship with a company called Visually Inclined, and I used to do voiceovers for them. And once I started doing that, I graduated high school, and I didn't see them for a couple of years. I graduated college, and I didn't see them for a couple of years. I was doing counseling. Got fired from my counseling job in 2011. My girlfriend broke up. We broke up in 2011. So now I have no job, and I have no girlfriend. So I also had no distractions. It was just me and God. You know, I had to wait trying to find a job, but I had a lot of free time on my hands. That's when I started soul searching. Now I said, listen, I'm not happy. What am I going to do with my life? Because I was just partying and doing a lot of all that stuff, and I just wasn't fulfilled. So I ran into a friend. She had an online women's magazine. She said, Zeus, you're really, really funny. You know, because she and I always had a lot of conversations about relationships. She invited me to her house. She said, I'm having a wine and cheese party. Come on over. I'm having friends over. Visually Inclined, the company that I used to voice over with, she said, they're going to be there. Let's just all hang out and have wine tasting. I said, okay, cool. I don't got no girlfriend. I ain't gonna do. Went over there, and we all started talking about relationships, and I started chiming in on my perspective and my opinion. The whole room was cracking up. And my friend Stephanie said, hey, Zeus, you know, my online magazine, Olive Coco, we could really use a man's perspective on relationships, like a video blog sort of thing. Like, would you be interested? I said, I've never done video before, anything like that. She said, well, you know, just do one, like, tell a story like you just did. I ended up doing it. It did very well on her website. A few hits, more than usual on her site. And she said, well, let's do this again. And I'm available next Wednesday. She said, let's just release them every Wednesday. And let's call it Hump Day Romance. I said, okay, all right. And then from there, I just kept telling stories about, I had plenty of stories. I just broke up my girlfriend. You know, I just started telling stories. And then with the stories, I was like, man, it sounds good, but visually it's boring. So I started having pictures pop up when I was saying certain things. And then from there, man, I got a job with the city of Norfolk, which was social work, which is the worst job ever you could work in life. It's so not funny at all. It's depressing. But I had a lot of time in my cubicle to write my videos. And then I wrote my very first sketch, which is called Stay in Your Lane. Oh. And that ironically was like one of my best sketches, top sketches to this day.
Right, right. I even posted something on Twitter recently. I remember you asked what were the favorite videos that people had from season 2, and
Right.
I posted what my favorite videos were from season 2, which were the world's most honest wedding vows,
Oh yeah.
and what was the other one? The Sports Center one. The what if cheating was a sport?
Oh, what a cheating was for. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that one too. Yeah, man. What did you think about, what did you like particularly about those two?
Well, in the I don't know. I liked how real the honest wedding vows one was. These are definitely shows that are not for kids, but
Definitely.
the preacher in the background, I think his facial expressions made me laugh more than the actual words.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
I think the visual aspect of the words, honestly, I think the bride's vows, those made me laugh a lot too. So, but the visual aspect made me laugh a lot more than the words did too.
Man, that's dope, man. It's funny, like when you're writing sketches, I've realized that it's not just what you're saying, it's how you say it. It's so many different nuances. Like sometimes I'll be editing and I'll say, you know what, this is missing something. This is missing a sound. This is missing I need silence right here. So to accent what I'm trying to get the reader to see, because most people are watching stuff on their phone.
Right.
So it needs to be, I have to be able to, you have to be able to hear everything, see everything clearly in order for the joke or the point that I'm trying to make to get across. So, the Honest Wedding Vows one was really, really, I was inspired by that one. I mean, I've never been married, but, I have friends who have gotten married
Right.
that probably shouldn't have gotten married. And, listening to their vows is like, I know what's really in their heart. They got to sit up here and be phony. Bless them. Bless them. So, you know, my show is definitely not for kids. 100% not for kids. And it's funny because sometimes, like, people, you know, make it seem like that's weird. That I have like, oh, well, you know, this is not for kids. I never said it was. Why the hell would kids know about relationships? Like, we're talking about marriage and sex and dating and, you know, honestly, these stuff is too deep for kids anyway.
Right.
Like, you know, it's not Saturday Night Live or anything like that. Even though I don't think that's for kids. They talk about a lot of political stuff that kind of goes over children's heads. But, yeah, I love the fact that I have an adult web series. Do not let your kids watch it. If you do, that is your business. But, I'm very excited at the way my writing has matured. Like, you've seen the first season, you know, like
right.
when I first started putting out my Waves videos, and then you've seen the second season. Like, you know, could you notice the growth?
Yeah, it's definitely more polished.
Say again?
I say it's definitely more polished in the second season.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was going for, man. I took a year off of the internet, which is probably crazy to a lot of people that are on the internet. You took a year off? I took a year off because I said, listen, man, I want to, a product no one can see how great a product is until the creator takes time to show them. You know what I mean? And I said, let me just take a year off and let me just write. I just want to write really good episodes, not just videos to get views and 5 ways to break up with your girlfriend or whatever the case may be. I said, that stuff has no substance. I still have people to this day watching and discovering videos that I did 3-4 years ago. And they don't know that it's 3-4 years ago, unless you look at the time on the YouTube. But the videos, they're still relevant.
Right.
The episodes are still relevant. And that's the way I kind of really want to write the series, man, because at the end of the day, you need to be able, as a person, you know, you have in your relationship, you need to be able to say, babe, look at this. This is exactly what I was talking about. This is how I felt, when you said that, or this is what I don't want to happen to us, because I'm taking serious subjects, and making light of them by, showing a deeper insight into them. And I think that requires a level of intelligence and honesty too.
Now,
I'm very honest.
Now tell me this, were you at any point scared of what people would think when you were cast into the spotlight on the public stage, since that opens you up for criticism?
Yes, I was. I wasn't afraid until it backfired on me. When I first started my videos, man, I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't as I am now of what I'm putting out into the universe. I mean, I had one foot in like, you know, being myself and being creative, and the other foot in, oh, well, you know, I need to be funny, and I need to be a shock factor, and I just need to say whatever. And so some of my videos in the beginning, I kind of take down now because I'm just not proud of them anymore. And it doesn't reflect how I feel. I did one called, it was a natural hair video. Not the natural hair song that I did. I still love that, at least. But I did one before that where it was like, my point was that all women don't look good with a particular natural hair style. Not natural hair in general, but a natural hair style. You know what I mean? Like the small little afro sort of situation.
Right.
It was like an epidemic where I was at. It's like all the girls were cutting off their hair, just these small little afros, you know, and it was like, oh my, well, this is black, this is beautiful. It's like, listen, I totally get it. I 100% get it. What I was trying to explain was, I'm bald. Okay? I'm bald. I don't look good with dreads. I probably wouldn't. Dreads is a natural hairstyle. Everybody doesn't look good with dreads, but it's a natural hairstyle. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I felt like I was trying to make the point of, listen, everybody, it doesn't compliment everybody. You know what I mean? It depends on, I'm just speaking about the little startup, little afro natural hair. Anyway, that's the point I was saying. Black women heard something totally different. Some black women did get it though. They have, you know, a lot of African American women have great sense of humor. And then others have, they hear what you said and then they hear what they think you said. So anyway, I was on natural hair blogs and they was like, this ignorant black man had my picture up there. Listen, I was scared, brother. I was like, man, I was talking to my production team. I said, y'all, I don't know. I think I should take it down. They was like, nah, Zeus, you have to be okay with taking criticism. Not everybody's going to like it. Your stuff is going to cause controversy sometimes. You have to be okay with that. So I left it up, and it actually got me now, since I put out more videos, the likes on that video outweigh the dislikes, surprisingly. And I think it's because my subscribers learned my humor and my point of view.
Right.
But before then, listen, man, they was out here for your boy. I mean, I thought the natural hair, they was going to come tie me up, really, you know, wreck your boy, man, you know. But it made me more cognizant of, I never want my opinions to come across like I don't love black women or that I judge them for their hair. I'm a black man, you know, I was raised by a black woman. So it gave me my restraints of be mindful of how you say things and make sure you're putting it out. When you say it, make sure it's clear the way you say it and that you're putting it out in the universe in a positive, good vibe to where you're not trying to degrade people, especially my people. And, then after that, whoever takes it, whatever they take, you know, a lot of people got chips on their shoulder. You can say a different way, and I can't control that.
Of course.
But, yeah. But that's part of being an artist, man. That's part of, you know, creative. Not everybody loves Richard Pryor. Not everybody loves Kevin Hart. You know, it's all opinion. So I'm okay with people liking my stuff. I'm okay with people not liking it, because all those opinions are valuable in their own way.
Yeah. So tell me this, do you handle any of the technical stuff that goes along with the video production, like the video editing, or do you have a team for that?
Yes and yes. I write all of my episodes. I direct most of them. Sometimes I have my friends direct them. I edit them, yes. I am always the first editor on my videos. The only time I have other people edit my videos on my episodes is when I need special effects and I can't do them. And I don't know how to do them. But yeah, most of the episodes, like the wedding vows and all that, I always am the first one to edit the whole thing because I'm the only one that knows how I see it in my head.
Right.
And I have to be able to control the comedic timing. I need to be able to control the special effects, the sounds, all that. And then I have my team come and mix it for me, make it sound smooth and whatever I can't personally do. But yeah, they taught me how to edit. I had to learn how to edit because when you are trying to produce, when I first started out, I didn't know how to edit. And I had my friend, I would sit over his shoulder, one of the owners of Disney Empire, I would sit over his shoulder in the corporate. And I'd be like, hey, okay, I want to do this. Let's move that there. And it kind of got I felt like it was getting annoying. So I said, you know what? Fuck it. Teach me how to do this. And once I started doing it, the practice just came, and I learned more and I learned more. So it felt good to be able to do it on my own. Now that I go to LA, you know, I know how to edit. I know how to do my own thumbnails and graphic design, you know, little stuff like that. So you got to learn your craft all the way through.
So what kind of video editing software do you use to do the initial cutting and editing?
I like Premiere. I like Adobe Premiere. That's like my favorite. Okay. I think other people like stuff like what is it, Movie Maker or what's the other one? Other than Premiere, I can't remember it. But I like Premiere.
Pro
I like
or something
Premiere
like that.
Yeah. I like Premiere. We always have the updated version of Premiere. It's what I know. It's just what I love. So I use Premiere, and then if I need to do graphics or something like that, I use like Adobe Photoshop. I use Photoshop sometimes. So that's what I work with. And if I need to sync up audio or video, I usually use like ProRes because it'll sync up a lot of sound and video for you in like 5-10 seconds.
Okay. I actually have a question about your team. So you use a team. I was just wondering how you found that team, and like, was it expensive up front when you were first starting out to build your team and have that team support?
It was, well, I met my team because I did my first college internship with them in college. Okay. So that's how I met them. And then after I graduated, I stopped doing my internship. I didn't see them for about a year and a half. And then once I went to my friend Stephanie's wine party, that's when I kind of got reunited with the guys.
Right.
And from there, I said, hey, you know, I started coming around more because they were working with Stephanie with her Olive Coco video. And because I was starting up Hump Day Romance, I was just around the office more. And I just, you know, it just became like a place that I just went. So anyway, it was difficult at first to get them to take Hump Day Romance seriously. Because at the time, they produced content for other people, but they had never, this was something that, you know, I became a part of Disney versus a client, if that makes sense. You know, so I was helping them out on projects, doing voiceovers. You know, I would edit, you know, something for them or do some on-camera stuff. You know, I was always good on camera, so they always had me do little stuff like that. And I do it for free because I was just trying to be a part of the company. So once I started doing the Hump Day Romance, well, they didn't charge me anything because I was always around. You know, I was just like a young kid trying to learn. So expensive. It wasn't really expensive at first because I wasn't acting. I didn't have sets. I was just in front of the camera, so they didn't charge me to use anything.
Right.
And then once they saw that I was serious about it, I kept going with it. I kept going with it. I started building sets. I started doing locations, and you know, if I needed something like a prop, or we were going to be somewhere for a while, I would front the money for food. I would pay for those like little things, but it wasn't until one of our videos went viral on the internet. I mean, crazy. I was in LA for the first time. Actually, it was 2013. And I just got signed with my first YouTube network. And they put us in this like 10-bedroom mansion house because all these YouTubers that they just signed, they wanted us all to meet, do a photo shoot, and kind of, you know, start the network up so they can see, like, you know, this is our talent, our roster of talent. All these other guys have had viral videos, and I'm like, nobody know who I am. So anyway, my video went viral and Stay in Your Lane, hit World Star, and went viral on Facebook. And that's when my subscriber rate went from like 1,000, 12,000 to like 20,000. Like people saw that one video and then they went to my channel and then they watched every other video that I've done. Like everything went up on my channel. And I know that because I was like, wow, that means they really like it because they subscribed. And so then my production company was like, oh snap, we got something. You know what I mean? Like the video had been sitting on the internet for at least like 8-9 months, only 1,000 something views, but it went like that. And ever since, they believed in me. They saw how hard I work. And for anybody to support you in what you're doing, you have to be 10 times into what you're doing. And people have to see that you're putting in money and time on your own product.
and they'll be inclined to help. You know what I mean? Like, when you're dedicated to your craft, man, everybody sees it.
Right.
You know, so they have been my team. They have been my family. They helped me. My producer, his name is Tremaine Johnson. He and I produced this season 2 together. And if it wasn't for him, man, I'm gonna be honest, it wouldn't have happened. It really wouldn't have happened because he was the hardest one to sell on the fact that Hump Day Romance was going to be something. Because he was, you know, when you have a production team in Virginia, man, you have rappers here, you have people that have these little ideas, and they come to a company like Visually Inclined and say, hey, we want you to help us do this, it's going to be great, and then they don't follow through, or they want you to do stuff for free, and then you end up helping people out, and nothing gives in return. So I had to really show them, like, listen, man, this is Viz Inc. I want to have ownership in this company one day, and because of that, you know, I've definitely gotten the brand out Viz Inc. a lot further, and they're family, man. They are 100% family.
Right, that's good. So tell me how the success of your web series kind of opened doors to other things, because I remember we talked about this a little bit on the pre-interview chat. I remember you did some work with Marlon Wayans at one point. I remember you did a Geico commercial.
Right.
And you talked about you did 4 short films in 2015. Was the success of the web series on YouTube what opened the doors to all these other ventures?
Yeah, most definitely. Because if you do anything, Hump Day Romance is my example of, oh, this guy, he's pretty good at this. And when people see that you're pretty good at something, well, then they start to listen to you a little bit more, and they say, oh, well, maybe he'll be good at this. I started to take acting. I said, man, I don't want to be a comedian. You know, that's not what I want to do. I said, I want to be an actor. So I started to look up all the acting agencies that was in my area. And it was 3 agencies. And I just sent them my picture and said, hey, you know, I would love to be on your roster. And then from there, they said, okay, great. And they start sending me, you know, auditions. I was getting just off my headshot. So I was getting money to do these, you know, it'd be like commercials or it'd be like training deals, just smaller acting scale stuff that I think all actors should kind of start off doing because it teaches you how to, you know, how it works. Your agent gets you an audition or whatever, and it's up to you to go out. They don't go hold your hand or anything. You got to go to the location and meet the director and do all that good stuff. So it definitely opened the door for that. The short films came from me just working with Visually Inclined, and as I kept doing Hump Day Romance, each video kind of showcased a different talent. Like when I started doing song parodies, I was like, oh, Zeus can write music, you know? But yeah, you know, I used to do it in high school. I used to rap. And then I did some other little dramatic things, like, oh, Zeus some drama. I always told them I wanted to do dramatic movies. So Viz Inc. we're like a magnet. When you're a creator, more creators kind of come to you, and it's, you know, it's like the law of attraction. You just attract entrepreneurs, successful people attract successful people. So I ran into a guy that, his name was Jesse Torres, very talented guy that my producer knew. He said, hey, Zeus, you know, I know you want to do short films. He said, man, this guy Jesse Torres, he's your age. He's real talented on the short film side. He said, you should really meet him. So I met him, and we just clicked instantly. He said, man, you know, I got this short film I want to do. Are you interested? I said, well, send it to me. And it was great, and we just been working together ever since. You know, so, and he saw Hump Day Romance, and he's like, you know, I think it's put together well. So when you do one thing really good, man, most of the time, people will give you a shot and say, well, what else is he good at? You know, that's like Jay-Z. He started off rapping, but he also went into clothes. You know, he now owns, you know, sports agents, because they see how much time and energy he puts into one thing. So the Geico commercial came from me being with one of these agencies out here. Here's the funny thing about the Geico commercial. Geico commercial, you know, when I did it, they wanted a lot of improv. Hey, can you do it this way? Can you do it another way? Because I had done Hump Day Romance and I was used to filming and being silly if I needed to be, or playing different characters, I had kind of the upper advantage over all the people I was going against, because I was going against all white guys. There were no black guys at all. you know, and I'm one of all black guys. And I had the upper hand because I was very comfortable, and Hump Day Romance, the skill set, you know what I mean? Like when you do something over and over again, you can snap it on whenever you need to. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was just a really, really good advantage, because all it is practice, man. Practice. Do you need an acting school or whatever in your city to practice acting? No, you really don't. You really don't. Just start doing videos on YouTube like I did, sketches. Or if you're not a writer, well, go and practice those monologues and get somebody to record you doing those. Do enough of those, now you got a demo reel.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's the exact same thing. So it 100% helps me in that regard.
I want to. So can you briefly say what the phrase is that you say at the end of every episode? Because I want to ask you kind of how and why you did select that particular phrase to say.
Okay. I'd say live your dream, not your reality.
So why is that? Why did you select that one, or how did you select that one?
Because in my journey, after I had a job for 2 years, which I hated. It was a social work job that I mentioned to you. And because I hated this job, that was my reality. And if I would have just stayed for 2 years, I went to work at 8 o'clock, got off at 5, and then from 5:30, I ran to the house, changed my clothes, and I would go to the office and I would do my videos. I'd be there sometimes at 3 a.m., 4 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I went to work with the same clothes on. That's how in tune I was with what I was doing. And I felt like if I didn't put everything I had into it, I would never get anywhere. So my reality was I was a guy that from Virginia, nobody knows, I didn't know anybody that acted, and I was at this job of which I hated and everybody hated. You know, that was my reality. I said, if I'm going to get to where I want to be, if my dreams are going to come alive, I have to live in that. I have to see myself, you know, being in movies and being in television and being on commercial. I had to see it for myself. So I lived within my dreams. Right. My reality meant nothing to me. It was just a space I was in, but I was always in my head. So that's what I mean by live your dreams, not your reality. Your reality is you poor and you got a lot of money, you broke. Okay, that's your reality, but what's your dream? Right. And then whatever your dream is, stay in that space, live in it, walk around in it, sit there. You know, it don't matter if you're in LA or you're in Virginia, you're in New York. I live in my head and I live in my passion. So that's what it is. You know, if you want to be a lawyer, a doctor, a scientist, whatever you want to do, and you're struggling, you work a steel mill job, but your dream is to own your own law firm one day. Okay, well, you need to live in that space. Right. Mentally, and feel it and touch it, because the law of attraction is amazing. You know, we are results of what we think of. You know, and if all you're thinking about is how much you hate your life and how depressed you are, well, that's what you'll get. Or if you just keep thinking, oh, I can't do it. You know, I don't know anybody who's ever done it. I can't do it. So live your dreams, man, not your reality. And it's definitely worked for me thus far.
Hey, I agree with you. That's a positive message to put out there in the world. And I remember earlier on in the episode, you were talking about the importance of having your reason why you do things. So, and also you touched on kind of being a working actor as one of the things you wanted to do. So my real question is kind of what truly motivates you, like kind of on the inside, to do the things that you do and to keep striving towards your goals, even when obstacles arise on your journey? Because I know things haven't always been easy to get to where you are. So like kind of what motivates you internally?
My obituary. See, when we die, we're going to have an obituary, and in that obituary, it's going to say what we gave to the world, what was our legacy, what was our, what was our life's work. And I need that to say more than he was a good guy, or, you know, he was funny. I need that because, I have a mom, man, who is, 62, 63, never been able to buy a new car. You know, went to college off and on, took like 3 credits here, took another year off, 3 credits there to take care of me and my 2 sisters. And it took her 40 years, almost 40 years to graduate from college because of she had to do it like that. That motivates me. You know, that motivates me because God put me here for a reason, and what's my purpose? You know, I want to be the guy that brings dignity on the screen and television. And I grew up watching Morgan Freeman, I watched Denzel Washington, I watched Don Cheadle. All those great actors, Will Smith, you know, they're going to pass away one day. Who's going to tell the story of, you know, our people, African American males? Who are younger kids going to see on TV that makes them inspire, or, you know, movies inspire them to want to do this? That's what inspires me. You know, I'm more afraid of what's going to happen if I don't do this. Because I'm just the type of person, man, I can't live life without a purpose. I can't, you know, work a 9 to 5 that I hate internally. I can't do that. If I'm going to do that, I just got to roll over and die, man. And so that's what inspires me is knowing that I have a purpose. God is involved in my life. And there is no other way. This is not over until I win. There is no, oh, it might not work out. No. It will. There is absolutely no way possible that it can. And once you decide that, because life is a choice. That's all life is, just a bunch of choices. Once you decide that you're going to win, that's it. I already see it in my head of what my life and my career as it continues. I already see it in my head. I'm just waiting for y'all to see it when it happens. Right. So that's what motivates me, man. And also the fact that I have family members, goddaughters, I have nieces, that I need them to see that our family is capable of doing amazing things. You know, it's not, I could go off and be in a movie next year and be one of the biggest stars ever. It can happen. You're my friend. You know me. You went to middle school with me. You know that there is nothing different from you and I in terms of us being human and where we come from and all that. But when you see something like that, somebody that you know reach that level of success, it can't do anything but inspire you.
I agree.
And your own personal dreams. You know what I mean? Because you know it's possible.
I agree.
It's not real until you know somebody that did it. You know, we look at Will Smith and, you know, all these like major superstars, and we like, oh man, you know, we forget that they're real people because we don't know them. But when somebody, you know them, it's real, man.
Well, even them,
so
they had their own little crew. Like they grew up around each other. Will Smith, Jada Pinkett, they knew Tupac.
Yeah.
Like they all kind of came up at the same time.
They did. And, you know, I just think that's amazing, man. And I think that, you know, my own dreams are not just for me. God didn't just give them to me. He gave them to inspire others. Because anybody can come up on their own and make their own career and all that other stuff. But how many people did you help along the way? How many people did you inspire? Because an encouraging word to one person, just saying, you know, it could mean a lot.
Right.
Or you could have helped them just go on, be able to carry on for 6 more months because they were about to quit.
Right.
So that's why, you know, I'm very, very inspired. And that's why I'm writing my new web series, Life University, where it's not comedy, it's inspirational web series. And it's just these little tidbits like we're talking about right now. I really want people to understand that, man, listen, wake up, live your purpose. Is it going to be hard? Yeah, but think about it. It's hard to pay them bills. With their job, they don't pay you enough. That's hard too, right?
Right.
And you're not getting nothing out of that. But at least if you're striving for something you really want to do, yeah, it's going to be hard, but at least you're going to get a reward out of it. You know what I mean? Your hard work is going to pay off. When you're in a job that you hate and you're making somebody else rich, well, then that's not going to pay off. Your payoff is that, you know, you get paid every 2 weeks. You know, so you might as well do it, man. It's just fear, you know, fear of what might happen. Or what if everything just goes bad? There is no way to be successful without making mistakes and failing. There's absolutely no way. So just get used to failing and then fail forward every time. Fail forward. You know, I'm always watching motivational videos. These actors and people that I'm really care about, get into your craft. Like if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, I always ask people, or you want to be a basketball player, or you want to be a chef. Who's your favorite chef right now? Oh, I don't know. Well, see, that lets me know right now how serious you are in your craft. When you're really into your craft, you know, like, who's my favorite? What's going on in the industry? Even if you're not in it, you know, that's just research.
Right. Right.
So yeah, man, you got to be into your craft, man. You have to be motivated on all levels.
Okay.
That's the only way you're gonna get through this. And God, whoever you call God, call him. You're gonna need him.
You're gonna need that hope. You're gonna need that hope from somewhere.
Listen, man, you are, because success is a lonely road. It is, and that's what they don't tell you, is that you want to bring your friends with you and all these people that support you and all that good stuff, but nobody's going to be up. Like you have your podcast. Nobody's going to be up late at night making sure it comes out the next day except for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Nobody's going to care about your product but you. So you can't really bring your friends along with you or family along with you in terms of like struggling through it. It's just you and God. You know, people will support you and say, yeah, man, that's dope. Keep going, you know, keep doing your thing. But it's a very lonely road, but it's a good type of lonely, because it forces you to appreciate what you're doing. You know, it forces you to really appreciate and be cognizant of what you're doing. And I love it. Man, I love the space. I feel like I'm amongst the greats, you know, like The Rock or Jay-Z or these people that struggled, and I just feel like I'm amongst the greats. It's a rites of passage.
Right, right. You got to go through the darkness to get to the light.
You got to, man. It's no way around it. How can you expect to have something so great? You know, like time is the thing that I value the most. I love the fact that I don't have to go work for somebody else. I love that. I have my time, and that's more valuable to me than anything. And when you're an entrepreneur, you fight for your time. You know, you don't have somebody at a job saying, this is what you got to do today, this is what you got to do, blah, blah, blah. You got to figure it out on your own. Right. You have to think for yourself. Being an entrepreneur, you got to be a smart person, and just a person that believes so much in themselves. That's why when people get successful, other people think they're arrogant. You know what I mean? Because they don't understand that before your podcast started off, you know, the small podcast and Hump Day Romance started off small, before it gets big and people know you for that, you had to run off your own energy and say and encourage yourself to say, hey, don't stop. This is great. What you're doing is awesome. You're helping people. It's great. You didn't have people around you telling you how great you were. So you had to run off your own confidence and gas. And then once you get to that level, you're so used to running off your own confidence and gas. And yeah, people are telling you how great you are, which is great. You appreciate the compliments, but they don't understand that you got this attitude now. Well, thank you. I mean, I know I'm great. You know, I know I'm confident. I know I can do this. People they think you're arrogant when you tell them that you can do something and there's nothing you can't do, because they want you to be doubtful of yourself as they are about themselves.
Right, man. My podcast studio is like one corner in a 1-bedroom apartment right now.
That's dope. I think those are the best ones. I think it's the best ones, man. It's true. You don't need this big, you know, lavish space for what? It's the content that people care about.
Right, right. Man, if somebody was wanting to start a web series or just produce some video content on YouTube, would you have any steps that you would suggest that they take if they wanted to do that?
Yeah. Start writing. Just start writing. Write down on a piece of paper. You ain't got to worry about format or anything. You have an idea. Start writing it. And then after you write it, rewrite it. And then after you rewrite it again. And then once you get down think about how you want the show to look. Pictures usually pop up in my head about how I want that scene to look. Now, let's say you're not a writer. Well, find a friend that is a writer, that doesn't want to be in front of the camera, they just want to be a writer. And then get with that person and tell them what you're seeing, and maybe they can write something. You know, not everybody's meant to be Tyler Perry. You know, not everybody's meant to be jack of all trades. I think that's what happens a lot when people say, oh, yeah, I'm the writer. Oh, I'm the producer, director, because it sounds good, but actually are not really good at it. You know what I mean? I haven't, some of my episodes I haven't directed because I knew I had friends that could direct them better. I'm going to let them do it because it's not about a pride thing. It's about what's best for the product. And if I'm in front of the camera, well, I need to be focusing on my performance. I'd rather do a really good performance and let somebody else direct it than, than me do both. And then I I'm halfway good in front of the camera. I don't want to do that.
I could tell you censored yourself just now, so thanks for that.
You said what?
I said I could tell you censored yourself just now, so thanks for that.
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. It's hard over here. It's real hard. But, just start with an idea and understand this. It's a very good advantage to start something small and be under the radar because you can try a lot of different things. And if you mess up and it sucks, nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's a playground. I'm very, my subscribers always tell me, man, you need way more views, man. You're dope. Why aren't you bigger? Why aren't you bigger? Listen, God has me hidden for a reason. I am not famous at all, and I like it that way. I want you to see my material, and I want you to see, the web series, but my audience will grow when it's ready to grow. I'm supposed to be hidden because here's the thing. I've seen a lot of YouTubers get a lot of fame real quick. Real quick, man. Millions of views, they everywhere on the internet, and they don't know how to handle it, and they just fall off, and you never see them again. And then that discourages them. They messed up actually having a real career. Some want to be comedians. I don't want to be a comedian. That's not my thing. I want to be an actor. I want to be an actor, man. I want to tell the stories of people, and I want to make people laugh. I want to make them cry. I want to make them feel. And that's important to me. So I know what my purpose is. The more that you do your craft, the more that you'll figure out what part of the craft means the most to you. And then have patience. Patience. It takes like a month for like a Toyota Camry to get built, and it's like a brand new one. It takes 6 months for a Rolls Royce to get made. 6 months for them to build it from the ground up. 6 months. Quality takes time, man. And you can't put yourself on a schedule with everybody else. You compare yourself to everybody else. You're tailor-made, custom-made. Don't worry about that. Do your thing. Because when you're trying to be everybody else, it comes across that way. People can tell when you're not being you or you're trying something that's not you. Don't do that. It's enough of everybody else. We need you. So that'd be my advice to anybody that wants to start up a web series, man. Figure out what's important to you or what you like, whether it be politics, relationships, sports, comic books, whatever. And then talk about it or find a way to talk about it in a format that's simple for you to do, that's cost effective, because you ain't got no money starting off. So all you need is like a real clean background and a nice little setup, and the rest is just content.
Well, there it is. Hey, man, I want to thank you for coming up here on this podcast. I know you're busy. You were coming from the gym when I first called you. But go ahead and tell the people where they can find out more about you. I mean, your website, through social media, Instagram, Twitter, all that. Just go ahead and let the people know.
Yeah. Everything is Top Rope Zeus, one word. Top Rope Zeus spelled like I got education. So TOPROPEZEUS, Top Rope Zeus. Or you can Google Hump Day Romance. My YouTube is Top Rope Zeus. My Facebook is Top Rope Zeus. My Instagram is Top Rope Zeus. All that, man. So you can find me on all social handles, Snapchat, Twitter's Top Rope Zeus. And thank you for having me on your podcast.
Man, it's my pleasure.
My daytime minutes definitely were used wisely. Very wisely. So thank you.
People still count those.
Yeah, they still count. Listen, man, it's real. It's very real. AT&T, they are not playing with people at all. Those charges come. They come, man. And for everybody, please live your dream, not your reality. Whatever that means to you. And I wish you all the success and love, especially to you, man. I love what you're doing, man. Much success. I don't have to tell you that you're a successful guy, man. You're driven. You're gonna be great regardless.
I appreciate that. Well, I hope you all
professional, man. You're so professional. This ball of professionalism, man. This is dope, man. It's really dope.
You have to accept compliments. You have to receive them. You can't turn them away. you know that law of attraction.
I get it. I totally get it, brother. You're a professional, responsible guy, man.
Man, I look up to you too. Definitely one of the people that I look up to and have in my circle. So I appreciate that.
Thank you. And I want an invite to the wedding, man. Okay? Don't shortchange me now.
Will do. I got to send it out to LA now.
Exactly. Send it out to LA. I'm going to receive it. And I'm going to RSVP. I want chicken. So let's do it.
Okay. I'll go ahead and close out this show then. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Please comment on what you liked and disliked. Also head over and leave a positive review on iTunes. And I'll look forward to serving you in the next episode. So remember, build your dreams or somebody else will hire you to build theirs.
Thanks for listening to the Creative Entrepreneurs Podcast. Join us next time for more great insights. And don't forget to subscribe to the email list to get the latest information and updates.